Welcome to No Instructions. I'm Bob.
I'm Josh.
I'm Joel.
Joel's here.
Hi, Bob.
Hi. This is Joel Berry.
Hi, I'm Joel Berry with Sweet Tea Films.
Sweet Tea Film. So you may have heard me talk in the past on Making It or in different places about Joel's videos. He has a bunch of different characters, one of whom is named Tavin.
That's right.
And I've been watching Tavin videos for 7 years, maybe, something like that.
It's a long time.
Yeah, you've been making them for a long time.
Yeah, I have. I started in 2006. I was gonna say 20-something teen, but it's
2006.
2006. August, I think.
Yeah, so we invited Joel to come hang out for the day, and we shot some videos together, and
Did.
figured we'd do a podcast episode out of character, because most other things you do are in character.
Yeah, I mean, on the Sweet Tea Films channel, it's, out of, I think, 400 videos,
Wow.
probably 380 are Tavin, maybe something like that. There's a few other little things I've sprinkled in, but I put most of that on a different channel altogether. So,
Cool.
'cause at one point I thought it would be smart to divide it.
Yeah,
I disagree with that now, but
hindsight.
it's water under the bridge.
So we got Joel a Lego set to build today.
Yeah, it's Monster Truck.
Yeah.
Josh picked that one out for you.
like
I figured what could be, because we didn't know at the time if you were going to be doing it in character or out of character.
Yeah.
So I went with a safe bet.
That is a safe bet. 'Cause
Monster
either
Truck.
way, I'm down with that too. And I actually have a Monster Truck Tavin video coming out next week.
Did you go to Monster Jam?
I did. Went to Monster Jam.
Monster Jam, I've only been to one Monster Truck show, and it was surprisingly amazing.
Yeah, it was very impressive. I went and bought earplugs, and then I forgot them at home. And it was bad at some points, but not terrible. I was a little scared. I didn't know what to expect, and some people said, "Oh, you can't go without them." And another buddy's like, "Oh, you're fine." And so you just have to weigh that. I can't find this piece. 2, 4, 6, 8, right?
Yeah, so this is Welcome to the Podcast.
Oh,
where
okay,
you
here
have
we
to try
go.
to talk and look at instructions and find
Okay.
pieces all at the same time.
I see what they did. All right.
You're not going to be graded on your progress or anything.
That's true. You can get one step done through the whole show, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, I'm glad about that.
So I want to hear more about you and let people know about you, but I also want to hear from Josh. Josh, how you doing down there? What's up?
I am well. I can't see you. It's like that one episode of Seinfeld where we're all
Sorry,
sitting at the
guys.
bar. And you go,
I'm in the way.
No, you're good.
No.
Okay. Well, if you
What
say
happened?
so.
We didn't put out a show last week.
No, we didn't. Why didn't we do that?
I don't know, man. We were busy. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the default answer. And then we're like, Joel's coming. We'll just put one out. And then we forgot that was a week away.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't remember what the reasoning was, but what's been going on in the last week?
I don't know. Maybe we can save this for another day when Joel's not here. But my oldest son had a existential crisis. Told me that he thinks that the Bible is fake, and he wonders why we go to church, and he thinks it's all fake.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, this is a real conversation. Let's have this one. And so we had a nice, I think, a very nice, productive conversation. And that was honest. But yeah, we can save that for another day.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that was kind of fun. It's like, how was your day today? Like, oh yeah, irregular. Bible's not real. All the stories are dumb. Everything's fake.
Wow, those are big questions.
Yeah.
We've had maybe not that extreme of a stance, but we have had a lot of those things come up, and they have been some of the more enlightening conversations I've ever had with my kids.
It
on
was.
both ends of it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's my kid, so it's a lot of hyperbole. But we did. We had a really nice conversation that came from a place of honesty, and we talked about poetry and prose and doubt and a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it was a really good conversation, and I think maybe one day we can circle back around to that. But
Cool.
yeah, it was one of those like, oh man, I'm going to go home and have a great day today. What's at the house waiting for me?
Wham!
Yeah, one of those.
Gotcha. Any update on the motorcycle front?
Oh yeah, next week. What day is now? It is today, so a different day than today.
It's always today.
Yeah.
Totally
Really.
today. I can vouch
You
for that.
are leaving to go somewhere.
Somewhere. I don't know.
I don't know if you want to say where you're going, but you're leaving, and Anthony's leaving. And so I will hang out here and man the fort for a little while, and then I'm going to go drive to Tennessee to go get my free motorcycle.
Yeah.
How'd you get a free motorcycle?
Somebody listens to this show, where we were talking about, I don't know, random nonsense that we talk about. Sometimes that random nonsense speaks to people.
Right.
And I had mentioned that I'd always wanted to rebuild a motorcycle because I don't know a lot about cars. I was a helicopter mechanic in the Army, so I can build a helicopter, but I can't fix my own car.
Okay.
I'm like, well, maybe I should start somewhere simple like a motorcycle. And
Yeah.
somebody reached out while we were on our way back to Atlanta, offered a free motorcycle. Bing, bang, boom. Internet, give me a free motorcycle.
Wow. So you're going back next week?
Yeah, next week, whenever these other two jokers are gone, I'm going to go drive down to Tennessee and pick up a motorcycle that's in pieces. So it's a project.
So where are you putting this? Like, what are you taking down? Are you taking down like a hatchback or a truck or a trailer?
I'll probably
like, where are you
go.
putting this motorcycle?
I'll probably take a trailer, a small trailer.
Okay.
It's a small motorcycle.
Gotcha.
I was wondering about that as well.
I wasn't going to ask you. I was just going to take the trailer.
No, I was wondering if you were taking an open trailer or something closed because, you know, I mean, there's potential for parts to fall off in bad weather and stuff, and I didn't know if you.
I haven't thought that far.
Yeah.
I was going to take the open trailer, put the bike on it, and then just take all of the rest of the bits and throw them in a Rubbermaid box and throw them in the back of the Jeep.
Yeah.
I think I can probably fit it in the Jeep, to be honest. I fit a lot of weird stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think I can put the seats down, put a motorcycle in there, and see why not. Well, for above average intelligent human beings right here, do you think I could fit a small broken down motorcycle?
If it's completely broken down, absolutely.
It's got the wheels on the frame. So it's got
Then
forks.
Probably not. Because that
Sounds-
creates a big, like, trapezoid, you know?
But I can fold the middle row seats. I can fold them down and just lay it flat.
Is
I don't know. I think my
the
IKEA
motor's not
skills.
in?
Yes, the motor's in.
Oh, well, that's going to put a whole lot of weight in a really awkward spot to, you know, to manhandle it on its side. You're going to have all that weight right in the middle. I mean, you could.
Yeah, no, I haven't figured
But
that out.
Honestly, if it's on its wheels, though, putting it on a trailer makes more sense because then it's just upright the way it should be. And
Sounds like an adventure ahead for you,
Yeah.
Josh.
yeah.
That's fine.
And I'm
I
not
think it's gonna be a
here,
good
so
time.
good luck.
No, it'll be cool.
Yeah,
I'll
it'll be
figure it out. I talked to my wife recently, and she was talking about this.
That's a
Yeah,
good habit.
routinely. This coffee and wine bar thing that I've been trying. I bought one at IKEA, and she doesn't like it. But every day I try to make it a little bit nicer, and she tries to make it a little bit nicer because she wants me to build one, and I really just don't feel like it. And then she looked at it the other day. She's like, you know what? She's like, it doesn't look too bad. I'm like, yo, I think I won. She goes, but I still don't want it. Oh, I'm like, well, never mind.
So what's it? What do you do to make it look nicer? Just out of curiosity.
Glitter.
I build prettier things and put on top of it.
Okay.
She wanted a thing to display tea, so I made this walnut little tea box thing.
Displays like tea.
Yeah, like little bags of tea.
Okay.
She collects and drinks tea, not as much as I would imagine a person that would necessitate an entire display case for tea.
A gun.
Yeah,
A gun rack.
but she didn't like it, and so the whole point of that was I just got to figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh,
I don't think I ever know really what I'm doing. I'm just presented with a situation in life, and then everything will be okay. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good way to look at everything. But so you are going to have to replace that thing that you bought with. I mean, is that the definitive stance now? Or are you still pushing for winning over?
I think that there is a certain level of apathy that will eventually win out. I think that's what I'm hoping.
Gotcha.
That I can make enough pretty looking things that it will distract from the fact that she doesn't like it.
That's true. If you cover something ugly with enough other stuff, then you can't see that it's ugly anymore. So, yeah, there's
That's where I'm going thus far.
one approach. Well, let's see. For me, this past week, I don't think really anything's been good. We're back into soccer season, which, if you remember last year when I was kind of doing soccer stuff for the first time, I was a little hesitant about how much practice and how many games and all that. So, Joel, I'm not really a sports person.
It's time consuming.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And so I was a little worried about what all that was going to be for the family. It turned out I really liked watching.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't do much. I take them to practice and go watch their games. I'm not a coach, but it turns out I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. So I was a little excited when soccer is starting back up,
Yeah.
other than the busyness. But,
Right.
So.
Yeah, that sounds about right. How busy it is, and you're going to practices and games, and then back to practices, and then trying to find shin guards and wondering where the cleats went.
Yeah. So my wife did this cool thing where she made little baskets put them by the back door under a bench, and those are the soccer baskets. So everybody
Okay.
knows their cleats, their clean socks, their shin guards, their whatever.
Yeah.
It all goes in that one place. So it's on the way out or on the way in, you know, depending. And that's helped out a lot.
That's cool.
We did that when I was a t-ball coach. Is we got a couple of those little Rubbermaid whatever tote things from a dollar store and wrote all the kids' name on it, and you put it underneath the bleachers so that you can set the batting order, and then it's a place for them to either put their glove or put their hat or whatever. So it's a little like it's a thing for that kid.
Yeah.
But it controls so much as like a coach or an assistant coach or like a parent at the game because it is just pandemonium with little kids running around doing stuff.
And just dropping stuff everywhere.
Yeah, like soccer, you have shin guards that's attached to the kid. The ball is left out on the field
Yeah,
when they're
you
not
don't
doing
lose
it. There's
much.
not a lot of stuff. But if your kids play like a t-ball or a baseball or something where there's additional gear, setting
Yeah.
that stuff up made life so much easier. Keep everybody in line. Look, I made a robot, you guys.
That is a robot.
Awesome.
I
What's he do? Does
I
he-
have no idea. It's in some kind of anime show that I've seen like 5 seconds of.
Okay.
He flies and fights crime, like I guess all non-bad guy robots do.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a good guy. Robot.
Where's the camera? Oh, I forgot I had a camera over here. Check it out. There's
So
a robot.
I am, while you're showing off your robot, I am working on one of my old sets. This is an old Star Wars B-Wing set that I had in Savannah. And like when we moved, I took all my big sets apart and put them in bags. And it's cool to revisit the set, but it's also weird because all of the pieces are in one big dump. And so I have to, you know, go through them and find the pieces.
They're not in their individual bags anymore.
Right, numbered bags, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, which is what you're doing. but
Yeah, I've
with
got a little more help.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm up to. But what I would really like to hear about is Joel.
Yeah. I
Joel,
know about him.
start at the beginning, day one.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
There was a bread.
No, tell us
slice.
about what all you do, and because we were talking a little while ago in the car, and you do a lot of different stuff, kind of at the same time. So
Yeah, I
us in.
mean, I don't know if there's people out there that do are in the arts or some sort of freelance. You kind of get that in order to make ends meet, you piece together a lot of stuff, and so I have over the years as I've tried to grow my production company and audience on YouTube and all that. And so my goodness, I mean, I was a substitute teacher for 15 years, which there's a lot of material that comes out of doing that for as long as I did.
oh yeah,
But and then teach college. I've taught college part time for quite a while, over a decade. And production company, Sweet Tea Films. So I shoot and edit and produce promos and commercials for clients. And then I act, you know, in TV commercials, and as my character when I've done live shows, you know, there's events where I've gotten paid, you know, performance fees and obviously selling merchandise and that kind of stuff. And you know, I don't have a huge YouTube audience, so that was not one where I was, you know, I have this just chunk of money that comes in every month from advertisements or that kind of stuff. But all of that, you know, little avenues of revenue that have come in over the years.
So what's the? I mean, I was asking you earlier. Sorry to know the answer to this, but like with all those things, what's the thing that you really, if you could pick one and run with it, and it was fully supported, and
Yeah.
what's the
Well,
preference?
I definitely like my creative work where I'm creating characters and stories. You know, I've done 3-minute episodes for, you know, since 2006, since 2006. And then I write scripts, short scripts. I've written a couple of award-winning short films, and then I write features, and that's the goal, is to make films, but that's a long road to get to. So that's what I like to do. I like to write. I like to act. I like to kind of create my own branding, my own, you know, there's certain style of things, a way I like to do it. And so, and like I'd mentioned to you earlier in the car, it's a little bit of a slower build when you're trying to just not plug into other people's stories, but create your own. So
right.
Well, with creating your stories, when you're doing a Tavin character and you create all these other people, like we talk about it here, where Bob's grown up here, he grew up in Georgia, I grew up in the Panhandle, Florida, and been all over the South. Like, and some of your mannerisms are so fluid
yeah.
that where does that come from? Does it come from your own family backstory? Like, are there people that you're mimicking to be able to do that with such consistency?
I think to some degree, yeah. There's definitely people that you know, or you know elements of certain people, and even some of it is myself, kind of how I am or my preferences, and then you just do it. I think so much of comedy is observing real life, and then at least with my character Tavin, people have said, hey, I know that guy, or I went to school with that guy, or are you from this town, or whatever kind of thing. So or what area. I don't know if someone's asked if I was ever from a specific town, but you know, some sort of area.
But did like you represent somebody that they know?
Yeah. And early on, like I had somebody say, we named our kid Tavin, and I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
Surely you didn't. And then I went to their Facebook page and like, look, Tavin's learning to walk. And I'm like, well, they did.
Whoa.
And then somebody else asked Tavin to be their best man in the wedding, and I turned that down. You know, maybe I shouldn't have. I was just like, no, I don't think I can make that. I just was like, what am I going to be in character all day? And like, I can't eat with those teeth in my mouth. So
Yeah.
they're going to feed me and all this stuff. But it would have been a story. It still is a story. Look, I'm telling it now.
Yeah.
I was asked to be a groomsman as Tavin.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah, but it's a lot of people I know, in a long answer to your question, Josh, and myself, and like elements of other people. And some of the stories or the scenarios are real. Some of them are made up, you know.
I would hope that they're not all real, because that would be insane. 'Cause some of the stories are pretty out there, pretty funny.
Yeah, I had a family member who broke their back tooth off and decided to super glue it, but when they super glued it back, they super glued their tongue to their tooth, and so they had to get hydrogen peroxide and gargle with it to like make it come loose, and it was just a whole.
Wow.
Oh, and hearing that story told, so I did that one once as Tavin, talking about the dental mishap. And
That's pretty wild. So how did you, I mean, like, what was your background, your younger life, you know, growing up into filmmaking and characters and comedy, and like how did you get to that?
yeah, I mean, growing up, you don't really have a category. It's not as prevalent as now. Like so many people have grown up shooting videos because they've got a HD, phone in their pocket with a camera on it. But I would record cassettes, me playing different characters and stuff. And so that was always an entertaining kind of thing. And then in the early 90s, we got video camera. My family did, and I was all about making movies or videos, and they weren't good. Like it would be one of those things where you plug in the RCA cables from your video camera to the back of your TV, and then friends would come over and we would watch the videos I shot or we made, and it was a hoot. People laughed and stuff, but you look back and like, man, there wasn't a story. It was just like a silly thing, and part of it was just the novelty to see somebody, your buddies on video was neat. Now it's a little more sophisticated because the consumption starts at such a young age and the quality is higher. So, yeah, that's how it started. I never thought that I didn't think, hey, I'm going to do this or that. I really, my undergrad degree was in psychology. There was no film at the college I went to, and I thought, well, maybe I'll do something with psychology, but I never did.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. I went straight from undergrad to grad school, which was film production. And then since then, I've done, like I said, worked at Starbucks in grad school. I went on to substitute teach, and all the while I was working on creating stories, writing scripts. And then it wasn't until 2006 where I said, I'm going to try to, create this character. I'd been kicking around for a few years, and that's what I did. And then it was kind of through YouTube. A lot of stuff happened because I got a commercial agent through YouTube, through somebody I met, and he sent his, Nathan Barnett. I was talking to Anthony about him earlier. And Nathan passed along my videos to his agent, and the guy was willing to represent me. And yeah, it's a lot of stuff, which I guess is similar in some ways to you. Like YouTube's helped a lot.
Yeah.
So.
And like you did something with Rhett and Link back in the day, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. First they were doing a thing, I think when they were still in North Carolina, out of their basement or wherever they shot, which was like a show kind of similar to what I think became what they do now, but they interviewed me on Skype. I happened to be visiting my parents in Sacramento, and they were in North Carolina, and we set it up, and I was Tavin, and so they they interviewed me as Tavin, and then after that, I had asked them to help me with a couple videos, and they did. And then obviously they got pretty busy over the years. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've done a few videos with them.
I feel like that might have been where I first saw the Tavin stuff. I'm not exactly
Oh,
sure
really?
because I really don't remember when it was, but
Yeah.
I know I was watching them around that time period, so
Yeah.
it might have been that connection.
Could have been. They got a pretty big audience pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
My first week here, Bob, we were talking about something, and you had made like a silly comment about butter. And I'm like, okay. I don't get it. And then you looked at me deadpan. You're like, you don't know where that comes from? I'm like, butter? Like from cows?
Right.
You're like, no, sit down. And we just binge watched a whole bunch of Tavin videos. I'm like, I don't know what I'm watching. I'm like, is this real?
Right.
I'm like, the teeth are kind of a giveaway that it's a character.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Joel, you're like, oh, hey, this is Joel from Sweet Tea Films. I'm like, whoa, he's a real person that just talks like a real person.
Yeah.
And even now, like you've been hanging out here with us for the day.
Yep.
And as soon as you break into character, like it is bonkers. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's like a whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hoot. That butter video did really well. Out of all my videos, it's gotten circulated the most, I think. Although there's one that has more views, and it's only because it got featured on the front. It was a Thanksgiving video back in the day when you could get featured on the front page of YouTube, and it got featured. But that wasn't like people that liked it circulating. It was because it was presented to the masses, and
Oh, right.
you get people saying all kinds of things about you. I think I had to ask my wife to stop reading comments because she was getting worked up.
Yeah.
Because they say, whatever they feel like.
So the the butter and the milk videos are two of my favorites, and those are the ones that we always like. If we meet somebody new or we just talk to some friends who have never seen them before, we're like, all right, you got to watch these two videos. This is where you start.
This is your mandatory reading before we
right.
can become friends.
That's right. If you want to be my friend, you have to. No, I'm just kidding. But it's funny because those are and have been for years just staples of us. Like, you want to see something funny? Watch these two videos.
Do you
'cause they're really
remember,
funny.
do you know the names that Tavin gives lactose intolerance?
I know several of them.
Yeah.
Milk trait behageny.
No, it's milk tate androgyny.
Yep. I think there's both. There's milk trait,
Milk toast.
behageny,
Milk toast eulogy.
Yep.
toast eulogy, something about a rosary. I think there's a
Yeah.
milk trait rosary or something like that. Yeah, I don't know them all. Like when I've done live shows and I've tried to do that bit live, it changes.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember. I try to remember it as best as I can.
Well, so I mean, you've done so many videos, and we were talking about this earlier. Like, there's always these supporting characters that are never seen in the videos. They're always just
Yeah,
these
cheaper
people
that
around
way.
Town.
Yeah. You talk about the people in the town.
How often do you have to go back and try to, or do you even try to make like connective tissue or like through lines through multiple videos with a certain character, or like milk
Yeah.
silly names and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's not often. At one time, in the last couple of years, I went back because I was certain, like Mort Dwidell is one of the characters in the videos that Tavin talks about in. I was certain Mort Dwidell was the guy who started the boxing gym in town because he had like little stubby legs and a powerful kick or something like that. But I went back and it was somebody else, some other name I gave that guy. So I was like, oh well. Just fact checked myself, and I was
funny that you
I was wrong. But
you go to shows and I imagine like a Comic-Con style thing where people are like, "Oh, tell me about your character," and you have to like brush up on your own body of work.
well, at shows, I'm just in character. Now, some people are like, "Do you have any kids?" And then I'm starting. I got the teeth in my mouth, and it's like, okay, they're really asking about Joel.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just photos and smiles, and I love what you did, or I like what you did, or whatever. They don't get too in depth on the interview stuff.
The lore.
Yeah.
Having lore.
Yeah, they kind of want to know about me. Maybe because I don't talk about myself as much in my videos, really ever. I tried to just somewhere along the way early on, I got the sense that people didn't want to see me; they wanted to see Tavin. So.
Interesting.
And I don't know where I don't know that anyone said that, but I knew that he was popular.
That's kind of an interesting thing, though, because you were talking about the branding and like building your own brand and stuff.
Yeah.
And something I think about having all of those, here's some unsolicited advice opinion,
I'll take it.
about having a bunch of characters is that if people are familiar with the characters but they don't really know what's behind them, I wonder if that could be a way to build brand by being the grounding factor between a bunch of different characters, being you.
Yeah.
You know, and people knowing you more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
I think there is, and I've heard. Actually, it was Rhett one time early on. He said, "Man, I'm looking at your site, and it's like, who are you? Like, you know, we try to be as transparent as we can or upfront, and obviously that's worked well for them. So,
Yeah.
there's something to that. And I just haven't gotten complete clarity. Although I have done more of just as myself and talking to people, especially on Patreon. The people that follow me there, it's like, well, I just want to, hey, this is an update. Here's what I'm doing. Here's my plan for, you know, Tavin stuff or other videos or projects that I'm working on.
Well, and I saw not too long ago that you do online courses too, right?
Yeah, I did that in the last year because I've taught college for so many years. It's like, why don't I just create a class of the things I want to talk about, and then if people can find help from it, that'd be great. And you know, it's like I did one called Successful Short Filmmaking. Since I've had you know, success making short films, I was like, well, here's my approach to it. And so it's very like, it's not like a how to edit class or how to direct class. It's like, this is how I approached it. These are the pitfalls we ran into, you know, whether it's money or locations or whatever, and this is how we did it and got around it, or, you know, we're able to solve the problem. And so there's that, and then one's creating, what is it called? Creating sketch comedy and comedic characters. Creating comedic characters in sketch comedy. And so I talk about creating Tavin, kind of the stories and the approach to that, and then how I took him from YouTube to the stage and to live shows, which was a different monster I had to figure out. And then, because Tavin, people like Tavin because he's a storyteller. Well, stand-up comedians, a lot of some are storytellers, some are like joke, punchline.
Right.
And so I tried to figure out the balance in live shows of just telling a joke and a punchline and then just kind of weaving stories in. Because it's really not good, in my estimation, at a live show if you've been talking for 3 or 4 minutes with no laughs. So it's kind of like you got to land the plane and say something funny to finish this story.
You gotta hit the waka waka at the end.
Yeah. So, and then Percy Gammons is another character that I've developed the last couple of years. He's kind of like a long-haired, aspiring country musician who works at a pizza place and plays in the lobby, his gigs, and then Wen Lake, who's kind of a throwback artist, but he's not really good at art, but he talks about it a lot, and he does movie poster reviews where he...
I really like that character.
Yeah, he just looks at a movie poster and can tell you what it's going to be about, and he's way off every time.
They're really, really funny.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, cool. So,
yeah.
I mean, how's the online course thing been? I guess,
Well,
I guess, two things. What did you expect out of that, and how's it been?
Well, it was one of those things where, oh man, the front of my car just fell off. I'm making a monster truck. Did I tell you guys that yet? Did I say that out loud?
You can smash. Monster trucks are meant to come apart.
Yeah, it's not even built yet. That's the bummer. Okay, it was one of those things where, as a creator, and people that are artists probably, you know, have run into this too. It's like I'd like to do something creative, and what's the next thing? And I teach anyway, so it's like creating this class, and one thing is passive income. If there's some money to be made, now I don't have a huge audience where that's gonna necessarily take hold overnight, but my friend, another YouTube friend of mine named Jack Vale, he's gotten pretty successful. Very successful. He makes a living off of YouTube. He makes prank videos. He has a product called the Pooter, which makes fake fart noises. He goes to Walmart and Target and does all that. And he's got over 1 million subscribers, and he's hosted some television stuff and all that. And he was like, hey, have you heard of this website? It's called Udemy, that's where my classes are hosted. And I was like, no. And then he's like, you should try it. So I did. So I made those two. So he's the one who put it in my head. And then we shot a class for him where he talks about his approach to making prank videos and all that. I don't think he's posted his, but yeah. So that's how it happened. And it was just another opportunity. It's like you're always trying to like put something out there. There's a balance between always trying to try something new and put something out there to build your brand, and then also putting out quality, not just
Right.
winging stuff out there. And I think, sometimes I've done well at that, sometimes I haven't. So that's that.
Yeah. So what's the plan going forward as far as like, or do you have a plan with the characters and with, do you have more classes planned?
I've been brainstorming classes on the plane. Last night I was thinking through stuff, but I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what the class was I was thinking about. But I write screenplays. I write feature-length screenplays, and I've gotten some good feedback. I started years ago, right out of grad school, learning to write in feature format, and I found success writing short films. So that's the goal, is to try to get features made. But because I am building my own brand, and there are stories I want to tell, I got to find the balance between maintaining control and writing stuff that you would just maybe sell to get things going.
So you said feature format, and as someone who's not ever really officially been in any kind of film world, what is that, and how is that different?
It's like a film that you would see in the theater. So
Well,
it's like feature
as far
length.
as the writing, like what's the format?
Oh,
for-
got you. Sorry. Well, scripts are a page a minute, essentially. So if you write a 10-page script, you got a 10-minute film,
Okay.
give or take. Sitcoms are a little different because they talk so fast.
Yeah.
Like
So,
Gilmore
like-
Girls, it's like a 300-page.
Right. Like an episode of The Office might be 33 pages, but it's a 22-minute episode, or whatever. So, you're looking at 90 to 120 pages, hour and a half to 2 hour movie
Gotcha.
falls in right there. And so, and there's a formula like anything, first 5 minutes, there's usually a call to action for the hero. By page 28-ish or so, they've tried something and failed. And about halfway through the script, they're at their lowest point. If it ends on a high point, if it ends on a low point, then they're at their highest point at the middle of the script. And then, you find these beats all the way through, moments that are compelling, and then that's what the rewrite process is, of getting rid of the stuff that doesn't help, or characters like, if these two characters could be combined into one character, then do it. So it's it's been a fun process. I've had some really good help along the way, people that have given me feedback and helped me get better at it. Because that's in grad school, it was production. I didn't go to school for script writing, so I actually learned that on my own just afterwards by trial and error in a lot of ways, which has been fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
So you have 3 kids. How many kids do you have? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
You have 3 kids?
I got 3 kids.
So people ask us a lot, because we have a silly job. Like, how do you explain to your kids what you do for a living? Or like, have you gone to career day?
Yeah.
Like, how do you explain that to your kids?
Sometimes I've asked them, hey, what do you think I do? I remember my daughter when she was really little. I was like, where do I go for my job? And she just said, to work. I was like, all right, that's true. I just go to work. So what's your question? What do I tell them?
How do you explain? Are your kids of the age where their friends' parents probably have traditional jobs? I don't know. I mean, you live in Los Angeles, so that may be a little bit more.
No, you're right. they
Wider
do.
variety than here in Kentucky, but
Yeah, so what do I tell? Well, they know I teach college. Like, or my son will be like, you teaching today? I'm like, yeah, that's where I'm going. Or if I say I'm working from home, then they know I'm either editing something, or maybe writing, or maybe shooting something, or shooting, on location somewhere. But my daughter came to me in the last year and a half or so. She's 14 now. She said, Dad, I need to watch more of your Tavin videos, because my friends keep talking about them, and I don't even. I'm like, well, they're there. It's like, she's helped me shoot them. She's like works camera and sets focus and stuff like that. But, it's like when you're around it, you don't think of probably watching them. And so I said, yeah, you can watch them, because I guess she had enough buddies or pals that were like, that's funny when your dad does whatever in this one video. And she's like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's pretty
So,
wild.
yeah. Oops.
I mean, I say that's wild, but
Throwing
at the same
Legos.
time, like, my kids don't watch most of our videos. They
Yeah.
know of them, and a lot of times they'll be like, "Hey, did you ever make a video about that one thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was a year ago."
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, we just never saw it."
Yeah.
Because I don't want to
kids-
show myself off to them. It's
Yeah.
not like
Only time
get
my kids
around.
want to watch is when they think they're in the video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think your kids are home, Bob.
Yeah, that's what happens during this show. Usually, the kids come home from school and they bounce around above us and make noise and stuff. And my
Sure.
wife walks in to say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Have you been asked to do career days?
No. Oh, you know what? I am supposed to go and speak at this. So my kids are homeschooled, so it's like, I mean,
Really?
yeah. So if it's career day, it's my wife saying, "Hey, why don't you come talk to the kids?" But they go to this academy once a week, and I have been asked to come talk about filmmaking there sometime soon. I think next month.
See, we homeschool our kids,
Yeah.
so I didn't know if it was
Yeah.
you're a fellow weirdo too.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
That's funny. Cool. Well, how long
You're-
have we been running? 36 minutes?
Yours isn't close to being done yet.
No, but I'm actually pretty far along.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I didn't see that over
have
there.
a-
I just saw those right there. I was like, you got the guy put
look,
together.
I made the minifig.
Yeah.
No, I got some progress on this thing, a little bit. What else do we have? Do we have any pros and cons or anything this week? We should have gotten some Joel Berry specific pros and cons. Actually, while he's finding those,
I think I'm more determined than I need to be to finish this monster truck.
No way. You got to go. It's monster truck.
Yeah.
so as someone who has done film stuff for a long time, do you have are you one of those film snobs that has super strong opinions about the right and wrong way to make movies, and these movies are terrible and these movies are awesome and that's it? Are you
To
one of
make
those,
'em?
like Anthony? I'm just kidding. Totally joking, Anthony.
You know what? I tell my students too, like because I teach broadcast and cinema at the college level, and I'm like, there's rules, and you can break them in filmmaking as long as it doesn't bug your audience. So it's kind of like, well, there's not always one way to do something. Now there's a certain structure, there's a format, there's composition that's aesthetically pleasing that you kind of abide by, but sometimes when those are broken, it can be more compelling. So it's not like, oh, it has to be done one way, but at the end of the day, can't be bored. Nobody goes to the movies to be bored. So you have to be engaging and then not get pretentious to where you draw so much attention to some cool drone shot that we forget about the story or like, what's this about? Or I don't know. That's my thought.
Do you see that on YouTube a lot?
What?
To where people are so enamored at how they're displaying something, or either in technology or in just like the newness of what they're doing, that they ignore the story.
Well, I mean, if people are talking about technology, there's a story in everything, but it's really like information, right? So you're trying to convey information that's appealing, and there's a certain style that's developed where it's these, kind of jump cuts, quick, repeatable type of way, and that's okay. As long as people stay engaged, there's definitely a certain style there, but I'm not mad at them.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Do you end up watching a lot of YouTube?
I don't.
It's funny. I was talking to somebody yesterday. They were asking me in an interview about YouTube stuff, and I said, "Well, I know I might be kind of a weirdo, but I really don't watch very much YouTube. I just don't have time." And he said, "Actually, I've talked to I don't remember how many people." He said 10 other people in the last couple of days, and they all said the exact same thing.
Yeah,
we're all too busy to sit down and just browse and watch, which is kind of a bummer because I think there's a lot of new stuff, even out of our genre, that I would enjoy. That
Yeah.
may have an impact on how we do stuff, but I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not exposed to
I
it.
think there's pros and cons to it. I have a hard time. I mean, I'm at a season of life, but I think I've always thought I was at a season of life where I don't have time to do that I've got other things that are more pressing, and then to do what you guys do, we shot videos today, and we're kind of surprised about how fast it went, but I was saying, well, what I do in my videos is just talk and try to say something entertaining. I'm not making
Yeah.
stuff and to research things and to do things and when you've done something you have to go back and recut it and retry it and it can take so long. It's I don't naturally have that tendency to sit down and plan and take time and learn it. I just want to do the thing, and so if I have to sit and watch something, it can be hard on me. It can be difficult, but I say that, but I still I watch entertaining stuff, but I just got a new camera and I'm trying to learn it, and so I'm sitting and watching videos on how this camera and lenses and stuff work together out of necessity because it's going to help pay my mortgage. So
So when you do, oh no, I almost dropped a piece. When you do watch things just for entertainment on YouTube, what do you kind of gravitate towards? Do you have any favorites?
I don't watch. I mean, it'll be to like watch some video that somebody sent me already on YouTube, not like I searched it out. Or I'll check out like Jimmy Fallon. I think he's funny.
Yeah.
He does a lot of just funny interactions with his guests and stuff like that. Yeah, even my friends that I've had over the years, it kind of got a little inconsistent. After a while, you don't upload as much, or you go just recheck their old things. Where I wonder what happened to that video or that content creator, and I may go check that out. But honestly, lately I'm looking at how-to videos on like technology stuff for things I'm buying.
Gotcha. Yeah, we do that too.
Yeah.
People often get annoyed at us that we don't do more research for the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah,
Very often.
like you just go off and
Yeah, we just figure it out, and I think that that's part of the fun.
yeah.
And so, like, a piece of technology may be aside, but like to try to find inspiration or to try to look for YouTube as a place to help you do what's next.
Yeah.
Because somebody's already done it,
Right.
and then you're gonna be accused of copying that person.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. There's a lot of stuff that's already done, which can be intimidating for people that are want to jump on and be a content creator. They're like, well, they're already doing stuff, but there's something to finding your audience.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will watch our stuff because they are looking for it to be how it was supposed to be done. And that's not necessarily why we're making the video. We're making it to figure it out, right? And to figure out one way to do things. And so there's like, I was talking yesterday about, there's an assumed authority. And I don't know if you talk about this stuff in any of your classes or anything, but with produced media, traditionally, there was always a built-in authority to it. Because if you could afford to be on TV
Yeah.
or have a movie in a movie theater, that meant you kind of knew what you were doing. There was a reason you got to that point.
Sure.
And so, and the same for like, recording an album. Like you don't make an album unless you get a record deal. You can't do that unless you're good enough. You can't get a book published unless you have some sort of an authority.
Yeah.
And so I think there's still this built-in thing about if it's published to any degree of professionalism, then that means there's authority behind it. And I don't think we try to project that, but it's assumed on the part of the viewer. And
Right.
so it kind of puts
Well,
us
you
in
come
a
out
place.
and say that, right? In your
We try
trailer
to,
video.
But, yeah, but even when we say it, it's still like, well, you didn't do it the right way. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Like that's not the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I don't know that there's a way around that. That's just the state of.
Yeah, but I think people also tune into you guys because of that, because you say, hey, we're trying to figure this out, and that's kind of puts them at ease that they can try it too and not be worried about it.
I hope so. I mean, that's the point. So,
Yeah.
but we have some pros and cons. Ooh, we do. Let's see. What do we have? So the way we do pros and cons on this show is they say something, and then we say whether it's a pro or con. Really
In our own
complex.
opinion.
There's a lot of rules there. But
Okay.
yeah, just about our opinion. There's some weird ones in here. Car backup cameras. Is there anybody that would have a con to that?
I don't like my car backup camera.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. I use my mirrors.
What don't you like about it?
That it's there.
You don't trust it?
Well,
That
no,
it's
it's
there? What a curmudgeon-y thing to say.
no. I just don't. I think it's a distraction. I'm used to backing up with my mirrors, and it's. I mean, it's a positive that I make sure that I'm not going to run over a kid's bike or something. But like, I don't use it in the little like moving lines and things to direct me. I find it a distraction, especially at night. It's really bright when I'm trying to use my mirrors.
I think a pro for me with that is that I don't run in, like when I'm trying to park, like finesse it and back up into a parking space, I don't hit as many things now. Yeah, because there's a little red area where I'm like, okay. Actually, sometimes I think I'm closer than the camera's telling me, so I'm like,
Yeah.
do I even trust you?
I don't quite trust it. Sometimes I do probably play it safer than I need to just because, it's not my eyes. But I know our vehicles look big and the back seats are high because of the amount of seats that we have in the vehicle. And so like I can't use all of the mirrors and fully
Yeah.
see behind. I mean, there's no way it would be safe. It would be very incomplete view of everything back there. So
And it also, if you do get dependent on those and there's rain,
Oh yeah, it looks like garbage.
yeah, raindrops on your camera, it's a bummer because then then you realize how dependent you are. 'Cause-
Looking through a bubble wrap filter.
Yep. That's exactly it.
all right, what else we got? Lane assist in cars. Since we're talking about cars,
Lane assist. Well, I can't afford those.
Yeah, I've never had that before.
Yeah, that's like a different. I don't know.
we
different.
got it in this new car.
tax bracket. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't want to rub it in or
Look
anything,
at that.
but
And how have you found? What's that? Well, so I don't. Can I speak to the cons? I can't. Except I would assume. I don't need anybody telling me what to do. That's the con. All right. So what's the pro?
so the pro is, I don't think they're necessary at all. I mean, I think if you had like a tendency to doze off or to not be aware, but it's like I'm already aware of how I'm driving, and if I'm gonna be swerving into lanes, it's because I mean to, because, and so this is just applied to me. But it seems kind of like a weird thing when I know that I'm changing lanes and I go to do it, but the car doesn't think I'm knowing, and then it buzzes my butt, and so my butt goes,
Oh, is that how they tell you?
see,
yeah, so like the left and right of our seat will kind of buzz and to tell you like, oh, you're getting, like if you run over the lines on the road, right? The little like,
the
things on
rumble
edge.
strip?
Yeah, but it does that on your butt, which is I guess good to let you know where you need to be focusing, but at the same time, like it's
Calm down, robot.
yeah, it lets me know more than I really need it to let me know. But
Man, that sounds like. I think they got to figure out better ways than turn it into like a massage chair or whatever you have.
You just like purposely get really close to cars.
Yes.
You're bored.
Yeah. Oh no! Dropped a piece. I'll be back.
uh-oh.
The next is multivitamins.
Oh, I hit something. It's all going down, guys.
That's okay.
Everything is breaking.
Multivitamins?
I'm so determined.
So I'm in my early 40s.
Happy birthday, Bob.
Thanks. And a couple years ago, I was like, you know what? As I start to get older, I should set some new habits. I should start to, I mean, I've been a runner for a long time, but I should do some other things other than run. And I should probably start taking vitamins so that it's a habit, just because it's a thing that will be good for me long term, right? And so I looked around at a bunch of different vitamins, and basically I just wanted the gummy vitamins because they taste like gummy bears.
Yeah, I saw
That's a
those
win.
in your house.
But they actually, all the ones that I've
Where did I
gotten
see them?
don't really, they're upstairs. I think,
Okay.
somewhere. But they actually don't taste that good.
No, it's the iron in it. It's that Flintstones. I remember the time when I was an adult that I tasted something that had a lot of iron in it. I went, that's why Flintstones vitamins were gross.
Well, these aren't like these are gummy ones, not like the crunchy Flintstones.
But still, it has. I think it has a remnant.
These are like they're trying. Maybe they're trying to hide that, but they put sugar in it to try to hide some flavor, and then it's like this
you missed some,
gross,
yeah. You
overly
got-
sweet gummy
There's a
bear.
rule in Lego: if you have two of the same missing piece, you did something wrong.
Yeah, you should
Yeah,
only
I
have
definitely
one.
did
left
something
over.
wrong because
I took a was it a B12 supplement?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a B12 because I got blood work done a bunch of times. And they told me I had low B12. Now, who cares? Am I gonna die? And she said
I
no.
think
But you
the-
can take more of that, and it's supposed to
Sorry.
give you more energy, which I haven't really noticed.
I think the con to supplements is like, where do you stop? There's so many,
That's true.
and they can all, you go in there, and if you don't have a plan, you're either gonna leave broke or leave mad.
Yeah.
Just leave, because it's so much to process.
I think it's probably a good habit, unless you're going to be really diligent for the rest of your life about making sure that you have a really balanced, you're eating all the stuff to get all the stuff you need. Maybe that's laziness. So like, I don't really have to worry about what I eat so much as long as I'm taking this little gummy or pill or whatever.
Yeah, and the only reason I got one is because the lady was very specific about what she thought I needed, and if she went, "You need to take a vitamin," I'm like, "Nah, nah."
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I have extras, but this one is a 3-in-1. So would those?
See, there you go. That
Yeah,
could be.
That could
Okay, I
be.
Yeah.
feel
But you
better.
could totally add them to your little car there. You
can make it awesome.
Give it some lights, and
Yeah.
some fenders.
Additional red jewel things.
I don't know why this thing comes out so far.
Somebody asked about buttered popcorn.
Where do we have that?
The blue.
Buttered popcorn.
Oh, nice. What's the question? The pros?
Yeah.
It's
Come on, Austin.
it's delicious, and it's good for you. It
What's your movie theater go to? You have a ritual when you go
Butter
watch
popcorn.
Butter
Yeah.
popcorn?
Sometimes soda.
Do you make popcorn at home? On your own?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my youngest son, he's all about the popcorn, and so if we sit down to do anything that involves movies or TV as a family, he makes 2 bags automatically now.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
And so me and him,
One for him, one for everybody else.
something like that.
That's what my son would do.
And then sometimes I'll melt butter and then we'll pour it over the microwave popcorn. And then
Fancy.
obviously at the theater they've got the stuff that you can dump on, the synthetic stuff, which tastes awesome.
The oil,
So yeah,
the stuff that comes out of the
Yeah,
like you
like
push the
this-
button and it.
where it gets on your pants if you know,
Yep.
it soaks through the bottom if you're not prepared. Now there's theaters that have trays, so you just set it on the tray.
Ooh.
These-
So we used to buy. This is not a judgment of any way. We used
Sounds
to,
like it when you.
It's
when
not.
you
No,
phrase
no,
it
no.
that
I'm
way.
trying to preface
I'm
because
prepared.
it's not. We used to buy microwave popcorn, and then at one point we stopped buying it for some reason, and I don't know what the reasoning was. I don't remember. But then it was like, well, let's just buy bags. I think maybe it was cheaper just to buy a bag of corn
Kernels,
It
yeah.
was like $2, and you get
and-
tons of them.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, we'll just make it ourselves on the stove because we had an air popper growing up. That's how we made, and it was super.
My wife
good.
does that on the stove.
And so
too.
now we only make popcorn on the stove. Takes a couple minutes, but you
Yeah.
can flavor it. You can put whatever. I used to put seasoned salt and olive oil
Yeah.
in it, and then pop that, and you get like the burnt seasoned salt stuff on the outside of the popcorn. So good.
So when we were at Maker Faire that year, and we had dinner with Dan from Glowforge, and what's his name from Inventable, Zach. One of them, I think it was Dan, had like a very in-depth conversation with, I think it was my wife, about popcorn poppers and trying to find the perfect like household popcorn machine. And it's one of those weird things. Like if you think you're having a dinner with like a CEO from this technology company,
Yeah.
it's like, well, let's talk about how I can find and track down this one popcorn popper that was like made the perfect popcorn. It was
Jiffy
such a-
Pop?
It was random.
Is Jiffy Pop
Conversation.
the campfire one?
Is that the one that's in the little like aluminum thing and it's
Yeah,
just like
foil.
Then what was the name of the one that was on the kitchen counter?
it looks like a tower and it like spits it downward?
That's an air popper.
Okay.
Air popper.
People use
Is that what
those
you
to
use?
That's what
roast
we used
coffee
to
beans now.
Oh,
Yeah, a friend of mine does it.
They put coffee beans in a popcorn maker?
Buttery, I don't know. They might wash it first.
buttered coffee.
That doesn't sound too bad.
That's a thing.
Some
I
kettle,
know it's a
kettle
thing.
corn
What's the name of the
medium
place
roast.
we ate at lunch today?
Culver's.
So I got the butter burger, and for some reason I thought it would be dripping, like with butter.
That place, I take issue
Good
with
burger.
what they call a butter burger. Because what I knew of a butter burger, I saw in America's Test Kitchen, and like instead of mayonnaise or whatever, they just like slather the thing with butter, and
Yeah.
they raved about it, how it's bad for you, but it's like the tastiest thing.
Yeah.
And I remember we went there the first time. I'm like, let's do this. I'm like, this is just a hamburger.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's not bad. It's good. And
It
all,
was
but,
good.
like,
I just had a
it's a
different
hamburger.
picture in my head.
yeah, your expectations are set.
They actually have a picture of the burger on the wall, like butter, like they're really pushing it.
They don't
And,
deliver. It's not a bad burger.
And I don't know if the picture looked like it was supposed to be buttery, but it said butter, so
I don't
you know.
think so. I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
just in the, in the mix.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. That was
Probably
good.
more so than other burgers. All right, what else we got? Do a couple more, so we're probably running long. Automobile remote start.
There's a lot of car
There
questions.
are just from Andrew. He had quite a few there.
Yeah,
I wish I had a remote start.
I think it's a. There's 2 ways you can look at it. It could be a show off move,
Yeah.
like, hey guys, my car started. How'd it happen? Oh, it's remote. Or
Wizardry.
Front pocket.
Yeah, or you know, you get it warm before you get out there.
I think that's the coolest part.
Yeah.
I knew when we lived in Belgium, I had friends that lived in Germany, and one guy got a ticket because he let his car idle in the driveway while warming up. Can't do that. It's a big no-no.
Really? Why?
Yeah, a lot of people. It's bad for the environment.
Oh,
We're just blowing exhaust.
You're not doing anything.
warm when you get in there. Though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we have a garage, and one of our cars stays in the garage, and so I never think of it needing to be warmed up. But
Is
I
it
guess
the
if
one
it
with the
were-
autocorrect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You
I
got
guess if
baby
it
that one?
were,
The tank.
So you've got an autocorrect car and a garage.
sorry,
Pretty cool, Bob.
And when you get in the car,
but we
with-
don't have a
with-
remote start, so I'll just say that.
You don't have a remote start on that thing?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure you have to. That thing remembers that it's your butt in the seat
well,
or your
my-
wife's butt in
here's
the
my
seat.
thing, and there's
Really?
no start on it.
That thing in the middle, what's that?
That's rewind. I don't know what that is.
I'm pretty sure that's the start.
Oh, okay. Well,
Can
maybe
you hit it? Can you hear the garage from here?
no. Actually, I'm pretty sure I hit that one time and it didn't do anything. so I don't
It just
know what
flipped over. It's a button that looks like a swirly symbol. I think that's the engine turning over.
It does a backflip.
That's kind of a weird
Like a
icon.
Not your
Monster
car
truck.
doing a barrel roll in the garage.
Yeah. Anyway, but I don't know. For me, remote start seems kind of like a strange. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's chilly outside, or there's frost on the windshield, and I still have my coffee to drink. So you just kind of give it the beep beep.
So really, only people in certain parts of the country should.
Yeah, I lived in the south and had no need for it, unless
Yeah.
it was just raining or
You
something.
can just
But
turn
even
the
then,
air
you just get in your
conditioning
car.
on and have it
Yeah,
cool
I'm-
the car
yeah.
off.
California, same thing. You don't really need a remote start, I don't think.
Remote start will give you cancer in California, though.
Everything does.
They'll put a sign on it. If it does.
All right. How long have we been going? You guys ready to wrap it up? 55. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Joel, where can everybody here find you and all of the many, many things that you do?
SweetTeaFilms.com. That's my website. That's where there's a podcast I do called the Shad Davenport Local History Podcast. It's a mockumentary for podcasts where it's fake, local history stories like so-and-so, whatever. And then there's the film school where you can see my classes. There's a work section where you can see like TV commercials I've been in or other work I produced for clients. And then on YouTube, Sweet Tea Films, SweetTeafilms.
Are you a fan of sweet tea, being from California?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm from Arkansas first. I grew up in Arkansas. So.
Right now. Okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't until the last few years when Chick-fil-A showed up with the sweet tea. The McDonald's was serving sweet tea, and now there's a lot of places. There's Raising Cane's out there now in Southern California, and they serve sweet tea. So you got options, and then you can make it at home too.
It's not enough people with the diabetes out there
No,
to spread that love.
it's good. It's good. Good OT.
Cool. Well, everybody go check out Joel's stuff. It's very, very funny, and I'm really glad you get to come hang out and
Yeah, man.
shoot some videos. Josh, where can people find you?
On the internet, Josh_makes stuff. And I finished the thing. I finished the model.
Oh, it's like
I
done.
finished
done.
the monster truck crushing the little red car. Now there's other options I didn't get to, and
You can do those on the plane.
it would take another. Oh,
Yeah,
I spilled a
disassemble your Legos on the plane.
I spilled a Coke in my lap on the plane.
Oh,
I
I
can only
saw that.
imagine spilling Legos and trying to get those. It was so hard to maneuver.
Have you guys seen, as a real quick aside, have you seen the Instagram account Passenger Shaming? It's about people shaming other people and their behaviors on airplanes.
No.
When they're like taking their shoes off and like clipping toenails and stuff. And so whenever you talked about dumping the thing all over yourself and how
Yeah.
you were like trying to alert the flight attendants so that you wanted to be kind to the people
Yeah.
behind you or on
Well,
the next
because
round of
the
flights.
seat was going to be sticky for the next guy. I'm pretty sure.
I think that you would have been praised on passenger shaming. They would have thanked you for your consideration.
I tried. I tried to look out for the
Not
next
just
one.
ignore it and leave the stickiness
Yeah, and it
everywhere.
was running down the back of the tray table. I felt like there's a streak, and I'm like, and it's it's a airplane napkin, so it's a tiny rectangle, and that did a little work, and then my pants did the rest, most of it. So, but what do you do?
Yep. Cool. Well, everybody go check them out. And big thanks to our Maker Alliance for always giving us ideas on the pros and cons. If you have some more, or if you want to join the Maker Alliance and get extra behind-the-scenes exclusive stuff, go to iliketomakestuff.com/join. And we'll probably have some behind-the-scenes-y stuff from this trip while Joel's here because we've been shooting a bunch of different things. So,
It's been fun.
yeah, go check that out. And thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.